Good morning, students. Module 3 contains chemical fuels, fuel cells, and solar cells. So, first let us see what is chemical fuel. Chemical fuel is a chemical substance which produces significant amount of heat and light energy when it is burnt in air or oxygen. Commonly, we'll take a few examples. Usually, it contains carbon, and when it combines with the oxygen, that is nothing but combustion reaction, you'll get carbon dioxide and heat. So, if you take simple chemical fuel methane, when it undergoes combustion reaction with oxygen, that gives carbon dioxide, water, and heat. How do we classify chemical fuels? Based on their physical state, it can be classified into three types: solid chemical fuel, liquid chemical fuel, and gaseous chemical fuel. Now, we can also classify into primary fuels and secondary fuels. What do you mean by primary fuel? Primary fuel is directly we can get it from the nature. We can get it from the nature, and secondary fuel, it is derived from primary fuel. So, under different states, here we have given examples for solid, liquid and gaseous chemical fuel under primary and secondary categories. Now, when we burn chemical fuel, it produces heat. So that can be assessed in terms of calorific value. So what is calorific value? It is defined as the amount of heat liberated when unit quantity of a fuel is completely burnt in air or oxygen. So what is calorific value? It's the amount of heat liberated when unit quantity of chemical fuel is burnt completely in air or oxygen. The SI unit of calorific value is kilojoule per kg. Now, calorific value can be divided into two types. One is gross calorific value, and it is also called as high calorific value or HCV, GCV or HCV, and another one is net calorific value or lower calorific value. Now, how do we define this, or what is the difference between gross calorific value and net calorific value? It is defined as the amount of heat released when unit quantity of a fuel is burnt completely in air or oxygen. Same definition whatever we have given for calorific value, and the difference is here the combustion products are cooled to room temperature. So, the amount of heat liberated when unit quantity of chemical fuel burnt completely in air or oxygen, then the combustion products are cooled to room temperature. Now, while cooling these combustion products, we have to consider latent heat of steam. So that's why gross calorific value is always higher. Now, what is net calorific value? It is defined as the amount of heat released when a unit quantity of fuel is burnt completely in air and the products of combustion are let off into the atmosphere. We are not cooling the products. The products of the combustion are directly let off into the atmosphere. So there is no question of latent heat of steam in net calorific value. So that's why net calorific value is always lower than gross calorific value. How do we determine calorific value of a solid or liquid chemical fuel? That can be done by using bomb calorimeter. So, bomb calorimeter is nothing but it's a stainless steel bomb. Okay, it can withstand very high pressure, and inside the bomb there is one platinum crucible, and in this platinum crucible we have to keep weighed mass of chemical fuel, and there are two magnesium fused wires to start the ignition process or combustion process. Now, these magnesium fused wires are connected to two electrodes and these two electrodes are connected to external battery of 6 volts. And there is one oxygen valve to supply oxygen, and usually we supply oxygen at 25 atmospheric pressure. 25 atmospheric pressure. Now, this bomb will be kept inside the copper calorimeter containing weighed mass of water. And there is one electrically operated stirrer, and also there is one sophisticated thermometer, Beckman's thermometer. Now this copper calorimeter will be surrounded by air jacket and also water jacket. Here air jacket and water jackets are used to minimize the heat loss. Now what's the principle behind this determination? A known weight of the sample is burned completely in excess of oxygen. So when we burn this chemical fuel using excess of oxygen, the liberated heat is absorbed by the liberated heat absorbed by the copper calorimeter and the weighed mass of water. Thus, the heat liberated during the combustion of fuel is equal to the heat absorbed by the water taken in the copper calorimeter and copper calorimeter. The higher calorific value of the fuel can be calculated from this data. So, GCV can be calculated from this data. Now, what are the calculation steps? Here, before starting the experiment, we have to note down the initial temperature. We have to note down the initial temperature, that we will take it as T1 degrees Celsius. Then we have to start the combustion process. Then note it down the highest temperature recorded in the thermometer. That I will take it as T2 degrees Celsius. Now m kg of chemical fuel is kept inside the platinum crucible. So T1 is the initial temperature, T2 is the final temperature. Now, what's the rise in temperature? That's equal to delta T degrees Celsius. Now, mass of water in the calorimeter, that is, we'll take it as W1 kg, and water equivalent of calorimeter, that's equal to W2 kg. What is water equivalent of calorimeter? It's the amount of water which could absorb same amount of heat that copper calorimeter will absorb per degree rise in temperature. That's equal to water equivalent of copper calorimeter. Now, specific heat of water is S kilojoule per kg per degree Celsius. Now, come to the principle. Heat released by the combustion of m kg of chemical fuel is equal to the heat absorbed by the water and heat absorbed by the calorimeter. So, that can be written as W1 into S into delta T, W2 into S into delta T. Okay, simplify this, you will get this expression. Now, heat released by the combustion of 1 kg of a fuel. Why do we take 1 kg? See the definition of GCV, the amount of heat liberated when unit quantity of chemical fuel burned completely. So that's why 1 kg of fuel is equal to W1 plus W2 into S into delta T divided by M. This is for m kg. For 1 kg, how much? So that's equal to GCV, and this is the unit. Now, how do we calculate NCV? To calculate NCV, net calorific value is equal to gross calorific value minus latent heat of water vapor formed. Now, GCV minus 9 into percentage of hydrogen divided by 100 into latent heat of steam. Why do we take 9 here? 2 grams of hydrogen, it gives 18 grams of water, because the molecular weight of water H2O. So 2 grams of hydrogen, it gives 18 grams of water. 1 gram of hydrogen, it gives 9 grams of water. So that's why we have taken here 9. Then into percentage of hydrogen into 587. It is in calorie per gram. If you want it in kilojoule per kg, then you have to multiply by 4.2, or whole term will be if you multiply it by 2465, that's also fine. So like this we can calculate NCV and GCV. We'll solve one numerical based on these formulas. See the example here given. This is the problem statement, okay, and these are the given data. Now you have to list out the data. Always you have to list the data, then write the formula, give the substitution, then give the final answer with the unit. Now W1 is the mass of water taken in the copper calorimeter. W2 is the water equivalent of copper calorimeter. Delta T is rise in temperature. M is mass of chemical fuel. This is in grams. So that's why this is in grams. So that's why we have to multiply by 10 to the power minus 3 to convert it into kg. And percentage of hydrogen. Here we need only percentage of hydrogen. Here they'll give carbon and ash. That's not required. We have to take only percentage of hydrogen. Now substitute, write the formula for GCV, then substitute all the values, simplify it. Okay, then by knowing GCV, you can calculate NCV. First you have to write the formula, then substitute for NCV. Okay, you'll get the value. So always NCV is lower than GCV. Don't forget to put the unit. Similarly, one more problem here given. It's exactly similar to previous one. Okay, different data. Now I will give 4 numericals. This you have to solve it and submit it during the reopening of the college. So please try to solve these 4 numericals. Now next topic is knocking or pinking, that we'll see in the next video.